So I'm here with Josh Lindquist. Hey, Josh.
Hey.
And Josh, you went through the last Messenger Boot Camp. It was up at Way of the Lord in Blaine. Would you just give us from your heart what you experienced of God at Messenger Boot Camp? What was He doing in your heart? What did you see going on around you?
So basically it was just a corporate encounter with the heart of God and going deeper in intimacy and just getting layers off of my heart, layers of whatever it is, complacency or lukewarmness or whatever it is. It's just that God was digging at my heart to connect to Him first in intimacy, but then out of that intimacy it's like a thrust into the harvest. So it's like you're not going into the harvest in your own strength, you're not doing evangelism in your own strength, but you're doing evangelism out of love, you're doing it out of the overflow. And yeah, I mean, it was just tremendous, everything I experienced.
Awesome. So there were quite a few people that went through Messenger Boot Camp from Way of the Lord. What, from your perspective, how do you feel like the number of people going through it, how did that impact that local congregation? What changes have you seen, if any, in that house since they kind of corporately said yes to Messenger Boot Camp?
It rocked the whole place. It shifted the whole culture. One thing that we've known for a while at Way of the Lord is that we were missing an evangelism thrust. We had many other things, the altar set up, worship, prayer, but we needed someone to come and kind of kickstart us into evangelism, and that's exactly what Messenger Boot Camp did. Some of the shyest people in our congregation are now the most boldest evangelists. A guy I live in the house with, he's kind of quiet and shy, and he preaches the gospel fearlessly, doesn't care if he's rejected. He's got a testimony almost every other day. And church is now, every Sunday, it's testimonies of evangelism God's doing. I mean, it's hard to have a meeting at Way of the Lord now without hearing a testimony of someone just in everyday life, just like breathing, doing evangelism. So it's just been amazing.
Come on, Jesus. That's awesome. What would you say, Josh, to someone who, because, you know, for a lot of people, 8 weeks, that's a huge commitment. So, you know, there's a lot of commitments. It's not a small, it's not a small thing to say yes to that 8 weeks. Lots of people may be struggling with that, struggling with fear. What would you say to somebody that's in kind of the valley of decision about going to Messenger Boot Camp? What would you say to them?
It's absolutely worth the sacrifice. It's totally worth it. I believe Messenger Boot Camp is the best evangelism training I've ever been through. The amount of honor and respect I have for you, Steve, and for the staff. I mean, the staff is just so full of grace, so full of love, and the momentum that what they're doing. I mean, I think it is so cutting edge for what God is raising up for laborers in the Twin Cities. And so I encourage you, if you're on the fence, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. I mean, the whole thing of getting trained in evangelism, there's so much fear. No, the shyest, most insecure people were having the greatest blast, and like they went from just like hiding in fear to just being full of joy. And the big thrust wasn't you have to evangelize or we have to go win souls, we have to do this. It was like we want to. We're so full of the love of God, we're so full, we're overflowing. And it's like when people went out, it's like they came back with joy. It wasn't like, oh, I got rejected or this or that or that. There was ups and downs, but I mean, there was just so much joy in fulfilling the Great Commission, being on fire for Jesus and spreading that fire. I encourage you, do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it.
Amen. Thanks, Josh. Love you, man.